Okay, just imagine this for a second. It's 1947. A brand new nation is being born. We're talking hundreds of millions of people, a dizzying number of languages and religions all coming out from under centuries of colonial rule. It's a moment of incredible hope, but also, you've got to admit, incredible risk. And the biggest question on everyone's mind was a pretty huge one.
Right? How on earth do you create a single rule book to unite a place that's basically a subcontinent? How do you write a document that doesn't just govern, but also tries to heal the wounds of the past and, build a future for literally 1/6 of all the people on Earth? It's a monumental story, so let's get into it.
Because we have to remember, a constitution isn't just some dry legal text. It's really the blueprint of a nation's soul. For India, this was the chance to define itself, to stand up and declare its values, and to finally set a course for its own destiny, on its own terms. But, and this is super important, this opportunity didn't just fall out of the sky. The power to write their own constitution wasn't some parting gift from the British. No way. It was fought for. It was earned. This was the result of a long, persistent, and frankly, grueling political struggle that went on for decades. I mean, just look at this timeline. It really shows you what a slow, grinding fight this was. The first call comes from Motilal Nehru way back in 1924. Then the idea gets picked up by M.N. Roy in 34, and the Congress Party makes it an official demand in 38. But it took until 1940 for the British to even sorta agree to the idea in principle. Think about that for a second. That's more than 20 years of pushing before the Cabinet Mission Plan finally got the wheels turning in 1946. And this quote from Mahatma Gandhi just nails the whole philosophy behind that demand. It wasn't just about grabbing political power. The point was to be inclusive. The whole goal was to create a body that would truly, genuinely reflect the hopes and dreams of all the people of India. So, the plan is finally a go. Now comes the next huge task, actually assembling this historic group. What would this team of authors, the people literally writing India's future, what would it even look like? Well, under that first plan, the Cabinet Mission Plan, the number was a staggering 389 members. Yeah, 389. This wasn't some small backroom committee. This was a massive assembly, like a giant human mosaic, designed to represent the incredibly complex and diverse tapestry of British India. So, how'd they get to that number? Well, the biggest chunk, 292 seats, went to representatives from the provinces that were directly governed by the British. Then you had another 93 seats set aside for the hundreds of princely states, the ones still ruled by Maharajas and Nawabs, and a final 4 seats went to the smaller chief commissioners' provinces. The whole idea was to bring every part of India to the table. So, elections for those provincial seats were held in July of 1946. And the results, well, they tell you pretty much everything you need to know about the political climate at the time. The Indian National Congress won a huge majority with 208 seats. The Muslim League was the second largest party with 73. So we had these two dominant and often clashing forces in the assembly. It was all set up for a pretty tense collaboration. But then, everything changed. And that change was the partition of India in 1947. This was an absolutely seismic event that didn't just redraw the map of the subcontinent, it totally upended the Constituent Assembly itself. Its size, its members, its entire reason for being. Everything was about to get redefined. And the impact was immediate. Just look at the numbers here. The total size of the assembly drops from 389 all the way down to 299. The members from the regions that were about to become Pakistan left, and the numbers from the princely states also got adjusted. All of a sudden, this was no longer an assembly for united British India. It was now the assembly for the newly independent Dominion of India. But here's the biggest shift, the real game changer. The Indian Independence Act of 1947 made the assembly a fully sovereign body. What does that mean? It means they were their own bosses now, no more oversight from the British. And it gave them 2 massive jobs to do at the same time. 1, write the Constitution, and 2, act as the country's first parliament, passing all the laws needed to just run the new nation from day to day. Okay, so with its new structure and its new power, the assembly could finally get down to business. And the sheer scale of the work they were about to do, it's honestly hard to even wrap your head around. And right at the heart of all this work was the drafting committee. This 7-member team, led by the absolute legal genius Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, was tasked with taking all the ideas, all the debates, all the proposals, and actually writing the thing. You can think of them as the chief architects of the new republic. So how long did this Herculean job take? Get this, 2 years, 11 months, and 18 days. Let that sink in. Nearly 3 full years of nonstop work, of intense debate, and just unbelievable dedication. And over that period, the entire Constituent Assembly got together for 11 formal sessions. And these weren't just quick meetings, okay? These were marathon sessions, where every single clause, every word, every comma was put under a microscope and debated by hundreds of people. And that was just the main assembly. The core team, the drafting committee, they held 141 meetings all by themselves, just to hammer out the text before it even got to the floor for those bigger debates. Incredible. And the price tag for all of this? About 64 lakh rupees. For a country that was just born and trying to find its feet, that was a massive investment. It really shows you just how crucial everyone believed this task was. So after years of debating, drafting, and endless revision, after listening to every possible point of view from every corner of the country, the moment of truth finally arrived. November 26, 1949. That's the day. Dr. Ambedkar presented the final draft of the Constitution. A vote was taken, the motion passed, and the people of India, through their chosen representatives, officially gave this rulebook to themselves. And there's this really beautiful little detail from that day. As the 284 members who were there started to sign the official copies of the document, a light rain began to fall outside the hall. And a lot of people took it as a blessing, a good omen for the future of the brand new republic. And the final document itself? Wow. It was a master of detail. It started with that famous preamble and then went on to have 395 articles and 8 schedules. It was, and still is, the longest written constitution of any country in the world, which kind of makes sense when you think about the incredible diversity it had to account for. So that rule book, born from all that struggle and all that labor, is the very foundation that has guided India for more than 70 years. And that really leaves us with one last big thought. How does a document written so long ago continue to shape the present and the future of the world's largest democracy?